Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you an atlas tree that you can make good currency with. The overall strategy here is to farm Legion mainly and harbingers, while also increasing our character's strength through shrines and Niko and adding some quantity through spirits and more nodes. This strategy works well even if you are on a low budget and can be scaled up if you have earned a bit more currency. The mechanics that we will invest points into are Legion, harbingers, shrines, tormented spirits, and Niko. We will also take a bunch of small nodes and roll away some mechanics. So let's go over the nodes. For Legion, I took Monumental. Your maps have plus 10% chance to contain a Legion encounter. Chain of Command. Legion encounters in your maps contain 2 additional Sergeants. Legion Sergeants in your maps have 20% additional chance to have rewards. Then I took Protracted Battle. This is optional. If you have enough clear speed on your character, you don't have to take this node. Legion encounters in your maps have 40% increased duration. Legion monsters in your maps take 50% increased damage while in stasis. Markev Legion chance. Legion encounters in your maps have 55% increased chance to include a Markev army. Templar Legion chance. Legion encounters in your maps have 60% increased chance to include a Templar army. Constant Battle. Your maps have plus 10% chance to contain a Legion encounter. Emblematic, 0.6% chance for timeless splinters to drop as timeless emblems instead in your maps. War supplies. Each legion in your maps contains an additional warhorde. Legion chests released from stasis in your maps release other monsters and chests with 100% increased range. Face off. This is more or less optional. Some people like this node, others don't. I personally like it, so I included it. Legion encounters in your maps are 60% more likely to include a general. Legion encounters with a general in your maps have both generals. Pillaged treasures. Legion chests in your maps contain an additional random reward. Logistical support. Legion monsters in your maps which have rewards have 10% chance to gain 2 additional rewards, and if not, have 20% chance to gain 1 additional reward. Legion monsters in your maps gain 50% more life for each additional reward they have. The Harbinger nodes are pretty straightforward. Ominous Arrival. Your maps contain an additional Harbinger. Unspeakable Offensive. Harbingers in your maps have 60% increased cooldown recovery rate. Currency shards dropped by Harbingers in your maps can drop as currency items instead. And First Wave. Harbingers in your maps have 25% chance to be replaced by a powerful Harbinger boss. This covers the main mechanics, and now we come to the support mechanic. The first support mechanic would be shrines. Duplication. Your maps contain an additional shrine. Drawn to power. Shrines in your maps have 50% chance to be guarded by an additional pack of monsters. Shrines in your maps are guarded by at least 1 magic pack. Syncretism. 30% increased effect of shrine buffs on players in your maps. Shrines in your maps grant a random additional shrine effect. And the only Niko node is packed with energy. You gain plus 1% to all maximum elemental resistances for each voltaxic sulfide vein or chest found in your maps. You gain 35% increased damage for each voltaxic sulfide vein or chest found in your maps. You gain 15% increased movement speed for each voltaxic sulfide vein or chest found in your maps. This is a very, very good node. The only downside to this node is that we have to use an sulfide scarab. If you have enough defensive stats, damage, and you're fine with your movement speed and you want to not take a sulfide scarab with you, you can replace the sulfide scarab with a reliquary scarab. For tormented spirits, we take Seance. Up to 5 rare monsters in each of your maps are possessed and their minions are touched. And Unrelenting Torment. Map bosses have 10% chance to be surrounded by tormented spirits. 30% more quantity of items dropped by possessed monsters in your maps. The mechanics that I decided to roll away are Heist, Ultimatum, Blight, and Ritual. And the small nodes that I took were all the quantity nodes over here, the quantity nodes here, and I also took all of the map modifier effect nodes over here so that we get more increased quantity, rarity, and pack size. As you can see, we still have some points that we can invest. If you want to, you can invest these into Eater of Worlds nodes. I just wanted to leave that part open to the players. If you prefer to farm Eater or Searing Exarch, this is totally up to you. So if you farms during Exarch, invest them in Light of Dawn, Word of the Exarch, and Wrath of the Cosmos. Or if you farm Eater of Worlds, invest them into Eldritch Gaze, Rampant Growth, and the Shadow of Hunger. Alright, let me show you an extra run. The Scarabs that I would recommend you to take is obviously the Legion Scarab to guarantee an additional Legion encounter, a cheap Harbinger Scarab to add some additional Harbingers, the Sulfite Scarab if you decide to take the Niko node, and this is optional. If you are on a low budget, you don't have to take that to add more divination cards to your maps. And also, if you decide not to take the Niko node, I would recommend that you replace the Sulfite Scarab with a Reliquary Scarab. Will add some uniques to your maps, which is beneficial anyway. If you are on a higher budget, I would add these Sextans. The first Sextant is simply your maps contain an additional Legion encounter, and the second one would be map bosses are accompanied by a mysterious Harbinger. Map bosses drop additional currency shards, and Harbingers in your maps drop additional currency shards. The maps that I would recommend you to run are Cemetery, Jungle Valley, and Dunes. All of these maps have a very open layout, which is beneficial when you run Legion, because Legion, sometimes if you run a map that is very, very narrow, you will block out some of the Legion monsters. There's a chance that you only get half of the Legion monsters in your actual map, and the other Legion monsters will be behind walls and cannot be cleared. This is the map that I'm gonna run. Let's go.
Divine orb, such grace is seldom seen in this world of the damned. I must have time to gather. Exalted orb, an exhilarating sensation of victory. If only I could.
Alright, that is the loot that I got. We got a bit lucky and got a tiny Scarab explosion. And as you can see, not all builds are fit to clearing Legion efficiently. So if you like Legion and your build doesn't have the damage output yet, I would just recommend that you go down to perhaps tier 14 or tier 11. And then when you have enough damage, just go up to tier 14 or 16 again. Alright, that concludes the video. I hope you guys found it informative. Goodbye.